everyone, and welcome to the Author's Den, where we bring you inspiring conversations with talented young authors. I'm your host, Kia Hatkar, and today we have with us a very special guest. So get ready for an exciting episode. Let's welcome Swasti, the author of Anecdotes of Life. It's such a pleasure to have you here with us today. So before we dive into our conversation, could you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and your interests?
So, I'm Swasti and I'm 13 years old. I love to read, write, paint, code, crochet, etc. I wrote my book Anecdotes of Life.
That's really nice. So, what inspired you to write Anecdotes of Life?
Right. So, National Young Authors Fair, it was introduced to my school for the first time and this year. And when I found out about it, I was like, oh, isn't this thing that Kea did last year? Didn't she write a book about it? So I had free time. So I said, okay, you know what? Let me try it too. I've always been an avid reader and an enthusiastic writer. So I really liked the idea of writing my own book.
How did the whole experience feel like, getting to know that even someone like you could write their own book?
So at first I thought that there's like a very complicated process of publishing and writing a book. But then I realized it's actually not that hard. You just have to write it and then publish it, and there you go, you have your book.
BriBooks, it's such a platform that makes writing a book so simple, because if you see other websites like Kindle and stuff, you have to be above 18 years to publish your own books. So I think that's really awesome. Could you tell us about your journey as an author?
Right. So at first I didn't know what my book would be about. And then I remembered that I had some incomplete essays in school that I had written. So I thought, you know what, let me just expand those stories, making them into a novel, work on them, and then I just compile it into a book. And so now I have 4 stories in my book.
While reading your book, right, I could feel the emotions of each character, and I think that the stories that you had in it, it's really something that one could learn from. Like the first chapter of your book, I really liked it, but I won't say much. After publishing your book, how did you go about marketing it?
So my first step was obviously to share the link to my family and friends. And then my school had a fair, so I participated in that and publicized my book. I collected all the names of the people who were interested in it, in my book, and then I bought the number of copies and I gifted it to them. I asked if at first they were like, oh wow, I'll surely read this, and then they were messaging my mom later on that, oh my God, your book is so emotional.
I can say the same thing about it. I really liked reading it, and I could read it like more than once. Like, it was not something that would bore you so simply. So it was fun reading it again and again. And it's these books that we all are publishing, it's really short, right? So it's fun to read it over and over again. So I hope our listeners could take some points from what you said. My next question is, how did you feel when you won the Best-Selling Author Award?
So I was pretty happy when I found out that I won the award. I could not attend the prize-giving ceremony, but thanks to you and to BriBooks, I received the prize.
Whenever you receive an award, it's this moment that you feel like you're proud of yourself for achieving something, and writing a book is something that everyone should be proud of, because once you write a book, it's not only you writing a book, but you're inspiring others to write a book, and you're teaching a lot through your book. So congratulations once again on this wonderful achievement.
Thank you.
Okay, so now let's dive into your book. What's the big moral or takeaway that you hope your readers get from Anecdotes of Life?
My book has 4 pretty contrasting stories, but I feel the central theme would probably be never give up and never lose hope. I know that's pretty cliche, but it's true. So yeah.
What advice would you like to give other young aspiring authors, like people who want to write their own books?
Right. So, first of all, never back up on the opportunity because you can have a lot of learnings from it. And when you are out of ideas or you don't know how to start writing your book, I would recommend going through your bookshelf, refreshing the stories that you have read, watching videos on stories and different narratives, and you can even take, as I did, essays from your schoolwork and then just expand them, continue writing them, and make it into a novel.
Thank you for sharing those points. I believe that the best motivation comes from those who are of your age. Like, I can get inspired from you, you can get inspired from me. I myself have been inspired by a few young achievers. So, my last question to you is when can we expect your next book?
Okay, so I am going to write one, that's for sure. I don't know the exact date, but it's going to be very soon. I can assure you that.
Really excited for your next book, and I hope that it comes out soon. That wraps up today's episode of The Author's Den. Thank you, Swasti. It's been a pleasure having you here, sharing your insights and experience with us. And to all our listeners, be sure to check out Anecdotes of Life. Stay tuned for more such episodes. Till next time, happy reading and writing.